Welcome to the Crystal Coach Show with me, your host, Anahata, helping you live every day with clarity, guidance, and practical wisdom. Are you feeling overwhelmed, anxious, maybe disconnected? Do you ever feel like you don't know how to live a life of peace and joy? I am Anahata Roach, the Crystal Coach, and during this show, we channel divine wisdom through stories of service, spirituality, and stones for self-care. The Crystal Coach Show leaves you with a feeling of connection and the clarity it takes towards becoming the best version of yourself as you hear from thought leaders and many others to help you ignite the crystalline nature of who you really are. Stay tuned. The Crystal Coach Show starts now. Today, I am going to take a page out of my own book, literally. During COVID, I wrote a little ebook called Crystals in a Crisis. And I updated it not too long ago because it seemed like all of the kind of fear and uncertainty that was around during COVID really hasn't dissipated. It's just kind of gone into another direction, a bigger place. Who knows? But it's not like the loneliness and isolation so much now as it is just the overall, what the F is going on, kind of a panic. If you get too deep in the what's going on weeds, you can get really kind of in a place of despair. So I felt called to visit with you about this topic and to share my experience with the stones and offer some recommendations. So this whole show is going to be about crystals and stones. But the thing about it is that I'm going to kind of give you kind of a mini course on how they work and how to prepare to use them and how to use them, and things that I don't normally cover in my show. I just say, these are good for you, right? But I don't teach you how. So today I really wanted to teach you a little bit about how they work and how to use them, okay? So it's going to be a really fun show. I hope you'll stick with me for the whole hour. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the way, how the crystals and stones work, right? And the mineralogy and other things. I'll get to it. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're stressed out and you're unable to take action and you can't sleep, and you're really not alone, friends, you're not alone. You need to find something else that can help you cope. Not all of the ways in which people cope, like grabbing the bag of edibles and trying to numb out the reality, it might help you sleep, but it's not going to help you cope with what's going on. And the feeling of helplessness in a way. I know some of you can feel like there's nothing that I can do, but yes, indeed, there is something that you can do. We'll talk about that. So consider some natural options for self-care. Minerals in the form of crystals and stones can support your efforts to improve your state of mind and body. So working with crystals can help you calm your mind, feel more grounded and present, release negative energy, and overall feel supported, connect to your own joy. And there's just a plethora of things that they can do. But they're the same, as I mentioned before, they're the same minerals as in your body. And since all matter is vibrational, each mineral has its own vibrational frequency. And that acts on the physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual bodies, and the etheric body too, for that matter. When a stone with a certain mineral is in contact with the body for a certain length of time, say 7 to 8 minutes, about 7 or 8 minutes, between 5 and 10, the body begins to react as if that mineral is inside it. And so, pausing for a second, the stones and crystals and stones have the chemical formulas that the building blocks. The periodic table is the same, So everything's the same. Our bodies have the same kind of building blocks, and the crystals and stones do too. So, for example, some mineralogy, calcium. Calcium is found in stones like calcite. Calcite. I'll show you the stones in a little bit, but there's some calcite. There's selenite has calcium in it too, and it's good for bones. So if you've broken a bone or your bones are getting weak, osteoporosis, for example, you can use the frequencies of calcium in rich stones to support the bones in your own physical body. Copper, for example, any kind of blue or green stone will be pretty much packed with copper. Um, I, it's really kind of amazing because you think of when you see copper roofs and stuff, and if a copper roof that's been on for decades turns green, it's a beautiful patina of green, kind of a greenish blue. So that's the color of stones that have copper in them, but just really beautiful blues like lapis or sodalite, they also have copper in. So any of that, but that conducts electrical flow. Now, our bodies are electrical machines, right? They run on energy, electricity, and there's a flow to our uh, power grid. You know, we call it our egg, our etheric body, our light body. Light is energy. Light is electricity. So that it helps to conduct the flow of energy and chi through the body. Magnesium. Magnesium is another mineral that you've heard of, milk of magnesia, right? Magnesium stimulates digestion. It's also good for self-love and supporting that feeling of love. Um, so magnesium is a good mineral for both digestion and for love. Isn't that interesting? Iron, however, that's iron is good for your blood and it carries oxygen throughout your body. It supports the blood's ability to carry oxygen through the body. So iron-based stones can really, if you're having some issues with your blood or you feel anemic or that kind of thing, the frequencies of iron-based stones and crystals can help. And zinc, you know, we know of zinc like for you know, when we have colds or to boost the immune system. It activates the pancreas as well and the libido, believe it or not. There's a stone called zincite that my teacher always called the mineral kingdom's Viagra. Uh, so, you know, there's lots of, it's really interesting how one mineral can stretch over a lot of different areas. But nature is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, this is interesting. Things like aluminum and beryllium and phosphorus bearing stones. Now, those three things, if you ingested them, they would be poisonous. But on a frequency level, they're actually good for neurological symptoms or supporting brain function. Isn't that amazing? It's like a homeopathic kind of thing where you put something that could be bad. Um, you know, you kind of overload and balance the thing. I don't know. It's really what I think is fascinating. May not be for you, but it's fascinating to me. Phosphorus actually is called the light bearer. So it truly does help bring in light into the brain, activating the neurons. It's a that phosphorus bearing stones are awesome. So let me see. What else do I want to tell you about mineralogy? I think that's it. But how they work. Okay. Stones contain certain kind of crystalline structures as humans. Okay. Within 4 feet of a human's electromagnetic field, a crystal or stone acts as the stronger field. Believe that? We don't make the crystals come into resonance with us. We have to come into resonance with the crystals because they have a higher frequency than we do. It's amazing. The minerals and stones and body match the minerals. I've said that already, but that's one of the reasons why the interaction between those minerals are really important. That when you get on a quantum field level, that all atoms everywhere are in motion, right? So the atoms and the minerals of the crystals and also the same mineral in the body start to resonate together. They are singing the same vibration. When you have dense energy in the body, you override this kind of connection with a stronger vibration of like unconditional love. And it's like the opera singer with the crystal goblet. Breaks up. It breaks up the dense energy in the body. That's part of what crystal resonance therapy does. It matches the resonance of these minerals inside the body with the minerals on the outside of the body. And then the therapist overrides that connection with this high frequency of unconditional love. And it just breaks apart and you can be pulled off the body and you feel lighter and more at ease and peaceful. So crystals amplify energy and can be programmed. Did you know that? It's like computer chips and watches, especially the quartz crystals can be programmed to carry a frequency and they amplify the energy that you are putting into it. So, for example, you have a crystal, a quartz crystal, and you put it in your right hand, the dominant hand, the hand that is the outer directed energy, the yang part of you, right? You put that in your right hand and program it. And then when you need it, you put it in your left hand, which is your yin receiving energy. And you activate what's been programmed. So if you program it for clarity, if you program it for love, if you program it for focus, whatever you're programming it, you want to have that later, you can do that. Those crystals are so cool. That's why I've made them part of my life's work. A single terminated stone. So you've seen crystals. I don't even actually have, yes, I do. I have a lithium quartz here. So a single termination is a point, just one. See, that's not the same at the bottom. But you have a single termination. That is, the energy is running from the bottom out the top in either a clockwise or a counterclockwise position or spiral. So that's one of the ways in which the energy gets transferred when you're working with crystals and stones. And double terminated ones, those that have, the points on both sides, well, they have the energy running in from either direction. And so on a body layout, that could be to amplify or bring and pull through this particular energy that your body is wanting. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about how crystals and stones work. We're going to look at the Earth's magnetic field and how that works and how the crystals and stones and our bodies interact with it. But we'll be right back. Take a quick break. Don't go away.
Hey everybody, oh my goodness, we have got talk radio for all of that.
Really, thank you for blazing the trail for women in talk radio and just being such an inspiration to me and so many other people. What you're doing is so awesome, and without people like you there to really step out of the box and go for it, I don't know if someone like me would have ever ended up here, but I'm so happy to be here, and I just want to thank you for everything you're doing. You're one of my major inspirations.
Here's your transformational tip for today. Make the big things little and the little things big. Oh, how often we get this one backwards. Catastrophizing things, making mountains out of molehills, using our imagination to worry instead of wonder, while simultaneously downplaying our accomplishments, minimizing our insights and awarenesses, and chalking things up to luck or chance. What if, just for today, you consciously chose to make a really big deal out of all the things that you want more of, and you consciously chose to make a really small deal out of the rest? Give it a try today, and then make it a trend. I'm Beth Larson, host of the Flourish Frequency Show. Join me every third Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, or visit my website, bethlarsoncoaching.com, for archive shows and more information to tune you into your personal Flourish frequency.
Luvology is where your body remembers what your soul never forgot. I work with men and women who
tune into the dark.
Are you struggling with unresolved?
Hi there, it's Anahata Roach. Welcome back to the Crystal Coach Show. We're talking about crystals in a crisis, or crystals in the uncertain times. It's really all about how do crystals work, and how do we use crystals and stones. And I should have said something at the very beginning. You know, you might want to grab a piece of paper and take some notes if you're interested in this kind of work, and interested in crystals and stones and how they work, because it's, if you don't want to take notes, you can also get this book that I'm referring to today from my website at thecrystalcoach.com. So, how the crystals and stones work. Continued. The Earth's electromagnetic field. Okay, it's a big torus around the Earth. The magnetic field of the Earth is the strongest source of vibratory frequency we can access in 3 dimensions. And the crystals and stones hold the Earth's frequencies. So the base resonant frequency of minerals is the same as if they were still in the Earth. That's their default frequency, right? I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Schumann resonance. That's the measuring the vibratory frequencies of the Earth. And it's a fascinating pictograph kind of thing of the way in which the Earth puts out frequencies and vibrations. And sometimes she goes crazy, go nuts. And lots of us sitting on top of her go, ah! And that's another reason for using the frequencies of stones and crystals to calm down. So the Earth's, now why is this magnetic field so strong? The Earth's outer core, the thin layer that surrounds the inner core, is 60% quartz. SiO2 is the mineral formula. And the inner core is a solid piece of iron. So that inner core, so because you got the outer crust, you've got the inner, all the mantle stuff, and then the inner core of it, just the heart of it, is this solid piece of iron. So we've got this that SiO2 kind of conducts electricity. It helps. That's the quartz. Remember, they use it in watches and in computers and other things to conduct electricity. Okay, to help power that. So it channels the energy, right? So that's what's happening on the outside of the Earth. And on the inside, you've got this big ball of iron, which is magnetic. So it's almost like this push-pull kind of effect. It just kind of like if you think of a child's toy, like a top, when you go push and push and push and push, and then it spins and spins, because this is a kind of a pulsing a pulsing, that the electricity goes one way, the magnetism goes the other way, and so it creates this kind of a torus effect, so that it does spin. It's really amazing. The electric, as I say, that's the clockwise. The electrical is clockwise, so that's the vortex on the outer side, and that's more of a sending kind of a frequency, going out and sending, and the magnetic vortex is counterclockwise or receiving. So again, we've got the yang and the yin, right? And then the earth acts, as I say, the X is its own electrical and magnetic oscillator. So that's why it keeps spinning. Isn't that so cool? When I found that out, I mean, maybe some of you science nerds would go, oh, well, duh, that's like third grade stuff. But for people that didn't have that exposure, it's kind of like, really? That's really interesting. The heart's electric field, or the energy field of the heart, did you know this? It's the largest generator of electromagnetic fields in the body. It extends, it's 12 feet out. It's been measured. Now, it's 60 times greater than the brain. Can you believe that? The brains, we all think of, oh, well, that brain must be the most, the biggest part that sends out all of the electricity and the magnetic waves, right? 4 feet circumference has been measured around the brain, but the heart. So, if you connect to somebody, you can, if you're already connected to that person, and you're at a party in a big room, and that person comes in, the 12 feet of that person's heart will match the outer 12 feet of your heart. And so you could be 24 feet apart, but you would turn around and know that that person had entered the room because you're connected that way. So under stress, the electromagnetic energy goes to the brain, not the heart. And this is why we often feel this kind of panic or feel like really ungrounded, because when we start to get into our minds, we lose contact with our physical bodies. And then there's this kind of a natural kind of panic that sets in, what's going on? I'm dying, whatever. So that leads me into how to use crystals and stones. So you've got your how they work, because science has explained a lot of that, and then how they interact with the electromagnetic energy that is our earth, and then we are too. The energy field of the earth looks like there's like the north and south poles are like the donut hole. Okay, so there's a donut hole that goes from the top to the bottom, and then there's this kind of a circular motion that goes all around it. So it's like this big donut is called a torus, right? And so our bodies are a lot like that too. We have energy that comes, in from the top of our head. It's called a central light column, and it goes in from the crown and follows the spine all the way down through the perineum. That's the root. So that's kind of like our little donut hole. That's where the energy comes through. But then we have a torus kind of effect as well. So we're mirroring the energy of what our planet has. So now we're going to segue. We're going to talk about how do you use these crystals and stones. So this is just a random recommendation, okay? So there's so many stones and crystals out there that to try to name all of the ones that would apply to this would be overwhelming. So I'm just kind of picking out a couple of, some that I find pretty often in my work as my clients bodies call for that. And also, even as I'm coaching, I feel that, someone would benefit from a particular stone. And these are kind of showing up in what I'm recommending as a go-to kind of stone for specific things. So anyway, using the crystals to reduce stress and anxiety. So there's, as I say, there's a lot of things that can be used. But I mean, I'm going to tell you, these are all, in my experience, things that really work. Now, it may not work for you. So you have to be using your own discretion. This is provided purely as a recommendation for personal self-care. Okay. It's no way intended as to be taken as medical advice. Have to say it. Crystal therapy is a complementary it's a complementary method to any other kind of medical protocol. It can be used in conjunction with almost any other therapy and pharmaceutical prescriptions and anything like that. But it's not to be, what I'm telling you right now is not to be taken like, I'm supposed to be using these crystals and stones and not having the operation that I was scheduled to have. No, please use your own discretion. Be safe, be wise. Use your discretion, use your knowledge. I'm coming to you as someone who works with these energies all the time, and I'm making recommendations. Period. End quote. Okay. Enough said. So how do you choose the stones for self-care? So if you've got some of these symptoms, I've got a stone for you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, a lot of us are. If you're feeling like you're stuck, you can't move forward, you're just kind of locked into a situation or a feeling or a job, this is for you. If you feel like, oh my God, I feel like a hamster in a wheel, in a wheel. I'm just spinning my wheels. I'm just going 1,000 miles an hour with my hair on fire and I'm not going anywhere. This is for you. If you sit and you just worry obsessively about what's going to happen next, what's going to happen, this is for you. If you have this simmering anger and resentment, it's building and building up inside of you. How dare they? Might be for you. So, some overall stones that may help with anxiety and stress for you. And this is my go-to. Black tourmaline. Black tourmaline counters excessive stress, chronic worry, obsessive behavior, transmutes negativity to clear light. Grounds. It does a lot of things. Rarely has to be cleared because it doesn't hold anything. Goes in, comes out. Goes in. Well, this is really good when you're angry. It's really good when you're angry because you can hold on to it and it will just take all of that out of you. It's cool. One of my favorite stones. I showed you this earlier, but this is a quartz, but it has lithium in it. So lithium is that kind of a purplish mineral here. It's kind of in the center of this, if you can see it. May or may not be able to see this. Lithium quartz alleviates stress, calms the nerves, reduces frequency of panic attacks. The reason for this is the frequency of the mineral lithium. Lithium back in the day was used to, is it crushed up and made into kind of a drink, a potion, and given to people that were deemed hysterical to calm them down. It's like a sedative. Yeah, lithium is a sedative. And so when you are connecting with the frequencies of a lithium quartz or any other lithium bearing stone, there's another one in this list that I'll mention in a little bit, but it also has lithium as its primary mineral. So this is what you do when you really need to just calm down. Okay, it will help. You have to hold it a little bit longer than a couple of seconds. You have to carry it with you. Maybe put it next to your skin. A lot of times I wear rocks in my bra. I just, feel the need to have a particular frequency with me. And or I'll have it in my pocket. But there's a lot of different ways you can have. You can wear it as jewelry, or you can just have the rocks on your person someplace. But anyway, lithium quartz really does help you calm down and the panic that you feel. It's just because of that sedative frequency, it just kind of really just like relax, just relax. Okay, then I don't have blue chalcedony here. I forgot. Anyway, there's a stone called blue chalcedony. It's a real pretty kind of a, I don't know, kind of a periwinkle blue, and it is of the quartz family. It's a silica, and it that also helps support and calm your throat center. Just so the no, not it doesn't support you if you've been just screaming into the void. It won't make your voice stop being hoarse, but it does calm and center you. Then there's overall stones. Again, the pink tourmaline. No. Pink tourmaline. Pink tourmaline. So here there's all kinds of tourmalines. We've got a green tourmaline and a blue tourmaline, clear tourmaline, a pink tourmaline, all kinds of tourmalines. The pink tourmaline, isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. Pink tourmaline is, this is just the vibration of inner peace. Now, this is really a specimen, like a gem kind of specimen. I bought it at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show many, many years ago, and it cost me a pretty penny even there. But if you want to use rubellite, which is a more kind of unrefined, less transparent way of the pink tourmaline shows up. This is still pink tourmaline. It still has the same kind of frequencies. It's just not as pretty, not as refined. It's still inner peace. Just really, you're holding on to this and just taking deep breaths when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel just like there's nothing in the world that is going to make it any better. This does. But again, you have to give it between 5 and 10 minutes to really start to resonate with the minerals in your body and to connect with it. I have a whole regimen for how to connect with stones and to create a relationship with certain stones, but that's another class for another day. It's not today. But anyway, this is a more affordable, more abundant version of pink tourmalines called rubellite. And it has all of the same beautiful, really soft and loving, peaceful vibes. Okay. Are you writing this down? Okay. Next up, we come to green calcite. So you notice pink and green, that's the heart frequencies. Those are the heart colors. The root colors are red and black. So this was why this tourmaline really helps with grounding you and helping, transmute negativity to clear light. But this is for emotional balance and stress release. So this works. This is a calcite. Remember I mentioned calcite before that has the calcium in it. It's good for bones. But when it shows up in the green, that means it has some copper in it. And it also works with the heart to calm it and balance and, just kind of help open the steam valve, if you will, for the stress that's been building up so that you don't walk around like you feel like you're going to explode any second. And it brings things back into perspective. Helps. Oh, okay. Well, take a deep breath again, reframe. No, it's the end of the world. No, it isn't. What's the song? It's the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine. There you go. Keep that in your mind. Now let's see. We have Smithsonite next up. Where are you, Smithsonite? Smithsonite. I call this like the mild detergent for the heart. Smithsonite comes in a lot of different colors. This one is purple. You may not be able to see it on the video, but Smithsonite is a wide range of colors. But I like the purple because to me it kind of resonates with the lithium, and it's not that necessarily that lithium is a big part of this mineral formula, but it just that purple vibe, okay, is a little less lower dimensional and more upper spiritual. So I just feel like this is like a mild detergent, like a woolite for the for the aura, gentle cleansing. It soothes the emotions, it counters negative energy, and it feels like a balm on a real like a burn, when you can cover the burn and it's not exposed to the air and it just doesn't hurt as much. That's kind of the way this Smithsonite works. I have, when people that are in grief or they're um, suffering some kind of emotional upheaval, their bodies will call for Smithsonite. Not necessarily on the heart always, but very, very frequently. I see it being called for in the heart because that's when we're holding something that is so very dear to us that even, if we've been betrayed or we've just lost, or there's just a lot of sadness in the world right now. And Smithsonite can help with that. So it's a really soothing of the emotions. It kind of works in tangent with the green calcite to give you that kind of soothing and emotional balance. So, you don't have to use these all by themselves. You can, group them or use a couple of them at the same time. Now, they have some specific stones that have more refined, targeted vibrations. One of them is called epidote. I call it epidote, but it's Epidote. So it could be epidote. I've only seen it. I've not really heard it. So I just always call it epidote because I think epidote sounds stupid. Like dirt, but I want to Frenchify it with the pronunciation. It looks like it's black, but it's really not. It's green. It's a very, very dark green. And you can find it. It's usually found in other minerals, like it's got a matrix and there's other minerals around it. But every once in a while, you can find a piece that's kind of a standalone. This is the mineral of epidote. Epidote is really interesting because it kind of helps in overcoming this habitual negativity. So you get into this cycle of thinking everything is terrible and everything's awful and nothing's ever going to be right again and all this sort of stuff. And Epido can help break that cycle, can help you to stop the program, because you're running a program and the everything is awful. This is a Chicken Little stopper, right? The sky is falling, the sky is falling. This will help you to regain a sense of self instead of giving all of your power away to a circumstance or to what you perceive as a circumstance. And also, you're adding to the collective to bring in that thing that you fear the most. Okay. Loss of autonomy, loss of freedom. So find some Epido. It's hard to find. You might find it online or at gem and mineral shows, but rarely do like the regular metaphysical crystal shops have just pure Epido. They might have it in a matrix, which works fine. That works fine. But if you want just a pure dose of that mineral to help you just feel less hopeless, increase your optimism, and just stop being in this overwhelming habitual cycle of negativity. It doesn't do you any good, and it doesn't do the collective any good either. So just be mindful of that. Okay, another one. Andalusite. Andalusite is a really cool, I call it my chakra dynamite. It comes with an X. There's a black inclusion that makes an X or a cross and it goes all the way through the stone. So that's how you find it. It's the one with the cross in it, or the X. And that's this stuff can really just blow out the blockages from the energy centers. So that's why I say I call it my chakra dynamite, because if you just need to clear out your whole entire central ice column and all of your chakra just blow it up and start all over, reset. Now you can blow it up, but if you don't know how to reset, I wouldn't advise it. But it is a storm element and it's all about change and transformation. So if you're not ready for that, I wouldn't go after it. But if you're drawn to it, then you're ready. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, now I've got hematite. Now, guys, I've talked to you about hematite before. It is the highest frequency earth element that I have. It is all about manifesting your light. And I also call it the be here now stone. This is a stone that can just take you out of spinning around mode in your head. You've got somebody circling in your head, just running on with hair on fire. Grab a hold of this piece of hematite, and that's going to just like be here now, chunk. Whoa, I've stopped projecting into the future. I've stopped looking back into the past. I'm like right here, right now. Wow. I wonder how long I can be there. Where you have to practice, because a lot of times it takes a practice to stay present for more than a couple of 3 seconds without letting your mind go forward or looking at what happened in the past, because our mind wants to do that rather than be here. So if you want to integrate the highest frequencies into your physical body, be here now. Hematite is what you got. Hematite is for the win, for sure. So, okay, do I have any more? Oh, I do. I got a couple of 3 more. So, lepidolite. Now, remember when I talked to you about lithium quartz? Lithium is in lepidolite. You see how pretty and purple it is? Maybe you don't, but if you're just listening, you can't see it. But at any rate, it is kind of shiny, and it's flat. It comes, well, it comes in a lot of different kinds of ways. I mean, you can actually, depends on how the mineral that makes the minerals that make lepidolite kind of were formed. If it was formed under pressure, it's flat. It was formed in a lava bubble, then it's more of a bubble kind of thing. But this is the best thing that I've found to help with insomnia and fitful sleep. You slide this sucker underneath your pillow, between your pillowcase and your pillow on the back side. Lay down. The frequency will work with your brain to calm it down, to shut off the noise, to allow you to sleep. It does work. I mean, personal experience and client experience, it does work. Now, if you don't want it to work, it won't work for you. But if you don't have an attachment to, this is going to do this for me, because sometimes that puts a barrier in the frequency's ability to actually be helpful, because you've got this attachment to it working, and then that kind of is counter to the flow, if you will. Almandine garnet. Okay. So this is for obsessive worry. So this helps release panic, worry, fear, anxiety, especially around financial matters. And it's a garnet, and it is kind of that deep ruby cranberry color that you really can't see online. But if you find almandine, it's got some flat planes on it, so you'll know that that's the almandine. There's all kinds of garnets. There's a spessartine garnet, there's an almandine garnet, there's a grossular garnet. There's a long list of different kinds of garnets, but almandine helps release panic, worry, fear, anxiety, and especially around financial matters. So because garnet's main frequency is about prosperity. The main frequency of garnet is prosperity. So if you're worried about financial matters, there's sometimes the connecting with an almandine garnet would be really helpful, because it's kind of gonna, it's an earth element, right? So it's going to be calming. All the earth elements are calming in some way, some more than others. And then, as last but not least, there's unchecked jasper. This is a really pretty stone because it's got pink and green. It's an earth element because it's a jasper, but it's mottled with pink and green. And those are the heart colors. And I just really love this stone because it's just so soft, energy-wise, it's soft and it's loving. But it assists in truly releasing negative emotions and the habitual thoughts and inner dialogue that create them. Wow. So the inner critic, we can tell the inner critic to shut up. The frequency of unchecked jasper is really awesome sauce. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the care and use of stones. I wanted to take a little quick break before we do that. We've only got a small amount of time left, but I do want to take a quick break because I wanted to get something to show you. So let's take a really quick break, and I'll come right back and we'll talk about how to care and use the stones. I know you've been wanting to know that. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to the Crystal Coach Show. I'm your host, Anahata, and I'm finishing up this whole big, long session about crystals and stones that you can use for times of uncertainty and change. It's from my ebook that you can find on my website at thecrystalcoach.com. Now, the last part of this is all how to care for your crystals and stones. And just know that all crystals and stones need regular clearing, with the exception of the black tourmaline, as I told you, because it doesn't hold the energy. It doesn't hold on to that negative. It just transmutes it to clear light. So how can we do this? How do we clear it? Well, you can use like toning or smudging. You can place them in sea salt or hold them under running cold water. Now, when you do all of that, especially the water, you have to have this image of like a clear mountain stream, that you're really kind of clearing out any of the debris that is not part of the default frequency for that stone. But do not, most tumbled stones can be put into water. I would not use lepidolite or selenite. Don't use selenite. They will dissolve in water. So if you want to fill up a bathtub and have some selenite and have it dissolve into as your bath salt, great. But don't do that in order to clear them, because you won't have much left in order to use again. So also limit, if you want to put them out in the sunshine, you have to limit the exposure to 1 hour. And if you don't, it's going to get hot and they may crack or they may lose their color. So charging stones in the moonlight is really preferable. And when you store your stones, store them out of direct light if you want the colors to be and stay vibrant. So to connect with your stones, you can meditate with a stone if you're drawn to whatever you're drawn to and see what comes up. And there are 3 main clair kind of psychic styles. Auditory, which is you hear. Visual is clairvoyant. You hear about clairvoyant because you see. Kinesthetic is I feel it. That's clairsentience. So you pay attention to the extrasensory channels that and get comfortable with that. Play with that. So if you've got one or the other, then connect with a stone from that place and see where it goes from there. So yeah, that's the basic show for today. I'm glad you came along with me, and I appreciate your listening. Again, if you would like to have a copy of my book, Crystals in a Crisis, you can go to my website. It's www.thecrystalcoach.com. And it'll be up there. It'll come up as a pop-up to have you. Do you want to have this? So you can have a copy of your own to refer and to work with. And if you have any other questions or like to work with crystals and stones, reach out to me at mycrystalcoach@gmail.com. That's mycrystalcoach@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Anahata Roach. Take care and be present. Be here now.
You have been listening to The Crystal Coach Show, helping you live every day with clarity, guidance, and practical wisdom. With me, your host, Anahata. Tune in every first and third Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com, where we channel divine wisdom through stories of service, spirituality, and care. Feel connected and reside in the vibration of love on The Crystal Coach Show. For more information and to become the best version of yourself, visit thecrystalcoach.com. That's thecrystalcoach.com. See you next time.